Hey, this is Eli Adams, and you're listening to the Arch City Music Podcast live from the Barn Studio.
Hey y'all, this is Austin and you're listening to the Arch City Music Podcast here from the Barn Studio. I have got Eli Adams on the line. Eli, excited to have you. How you doing?
Hey, appreciate it, Austin. Thank you for having me.
Of course, buddy. Well, we're excited. I'm not going to lie, I'm only newly exposed to your music, but we are going to catch you this weekend, September 3rd, Saturday, at the camp at Lake Wapapello with Palmer Anthony and the Reed Southall Band. You excited about that?
Dude, those are two of the best. I listen to both of them, but Reed Southall Band is just somebody I've been listening to for a long time, and I'm kind of new on Palmer's music. He's played at the camp with Kobe Cooper in the past, and that's kind of where I started with learning about Palmer. So just being able to see those two guys, let alone it's going to be fun, but getting to open it up for them is going to be even better. So, man, I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad y'all are going to be there too.
I am too, buddy. That's going to be a hell of a day. Labor Day weekend, that's a good way to spend it.
Oh, I can't think of a better way.
Just good country music in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, and it's a perfect venue too, because like it's almost more like you're hanging out just with everybody instead of like the tickets you buy. Normally you're in a seat and you're just kind of by yourself. I mean, it's just like a whole vibe out there, man.
It feels like an outdoor bar gig, a big outdoor bar gig. That's what it is.
Yeah, like a little small amphitheater or something. It's great. So we're looking forward to it.
I'd call it a country club, but not in the traditional sense,
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So you actually played there this past May with Chris Knight, is that right?
Yeah. I did an acoustic like hour show, just me and a harmonica and a guitar. So that was great too. He's once again just somebody I grew up listening to. He's like, I would call him kind of our like John Prine of our generation. He's a little.
I love that.
And he has like really deep songs, but then he can like have a funny, really catchy song at the same time. So that was a pleasure to do that with Chris, and he was a cool guy too.
Sure. So tell us about the beginning of your music career. You're from Forest City, Arkansas, right?
Yeah. Yep. And grew up here my whole life, and growing up in church is kind of where I started playing music, but I had a buddy while I was growing up to play drums, and we knew another guy that played bass, and I've almost my whole life have been playing in trios. So around the age of 12, I got a guitar, man, and just started learning off of, the apps and YouTube, everything you could. That didn't really have any teachers or anything, but started playing. Yeah, and I think learning that way is how you kind of build your own character. I know that's kind of cliche, but learning your own way is, I feel like, cooler than somebody telling you how they know how to do it. So, and playing out is what we just started doing immediately. And seeing some of those videos it's humbling, because when you start at 12, you think you're good just because you're starting so early. But it was a lot of trial and error. But growing up in Forest City playing those bars, and at the end of high school kind of stopped doing that with my hometown guys, and then moved to Jonesboro and started playing the college scene, and that's when I feel like it really started my kind of solo career, I guess.
Jonesboro's Arkansas State, correct?
Yeah, Arkansas State.
I've heard y'all have some fun out there.
Dude, yeah. I mean, and it's kind of it's different from most colleges you go to in Arkansas. You go to Fayetteville, it's a whole different, SEC vibe. But Jonesboro, it's awesome, man. They got some great bars, great places to play music, and I did that for the 3 or 4 years I was there, from 2017 to 2021. So I'm just now kind of out of playing. I don't play there just as much as I used to, but man, yeah, Jonesboro's great.
So how old are you now?
23. I'll be 24 next April, so I guess I'm kind of young, but been doing it since I was 12, so almost 10 years. But just in the past couple of years, I've been getting to do some of these fun shows, just bigger things, because we're almost every weekend of the month we're out somewhere playing, whether it be a private thing or or a cool show at one of these bigger bars or around. This year we went down to Mississippi and played at Rick's. That was something new for us, and this tin roof circuit that we're getting to play in Memphis and
That's
Kansas
fun.
City and Missouri. Yeah, man, we just get to kind of go all over and play.
So, have you already been up to Tin Roof in St. Louis, or is that on the schedule?
I haven't been up to the one in St. Louis. We were in Kansas City a month or two ago, and we're hoping to be back there hopefully this fall. During Chiefs season, that would be that'd be killer.
Well,
So
and
we're hoping to get back up there.
you'll have to check the schedule and let me know if you have any St. Louis Tin Roof shows coming up, because that's actually where I live, is just 15, 20 minutes from there. So that would be a fun one to catch.
Yeah, I hope so. If I don't do it this fall, sometime. Well, the Cardinals are still playing. It would still be great to go up there now.
Oh yeah, and I'll tell you what, dude, St. Louis loves their blues hockey. They draw crowds.
Yeah.
I mean, not quite as big, but the hockey crowd equivalent. And winter's a fun time to party up here, so might have to talk you into doing it sooner.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to, man. Like I said, that's the Tin Roof Circuit's great, and that's I don't know what other bars there in St. Louis there are. I'm not as familiar as I am there as I am Kansas City. Weirdly enough, I've been up there more than St. Louis, but.
Well, I think that there ain't enough of a country music scene in St. Louis, at least not dedicated. Like Springfield's got Midnight Rodeo, and
right.
we have all of these super cool venues, but none of them are, have carved out a country western, southern rock and roll niche. We get plenty of those cool shows. It's just all over the place. But there is another bar just minutes south of Busch Stadium, and that's called Game 6 Honky Tonk. And it's named after Game 6, which was when we played in the 2011 World Series. Pretty cool one. Are you a Cardinals fan?
I am, but I'm not familiar with that. Game 6. I'm assuming that's when we won.
Well, no, but we mounted this big comeback, and David Freese hit a walk-off home run to do it. It was, just textbook Cardinals baseball moment. It's in the record book for sure. But Game 6 Honky Tonk, that'd be a fun place to play too. They get some cool crowds, and it's the exact crowd you'd be looking for. So maybe put that on your radar.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna check it out. Game 6, right by Busch Stadium too. That has to be nice.
Hell, I might just stop by there one of these days and tell them we're booking you a show.
Yeah, I'll bring some business cards this weekend.
I love it. No, I'm laughing, but I'm serious. I would.
Hell yeah. No, I love it.
So, I'm not gonna lie. Before Dylan, I only started working with Dylan down at the camp come June. So we started doing all his shows since then, but that means I missed you in May. Until he turned me on to you a couple weeks ago, I had never heard of you. So I'm a new fan, but a big one. So your EP actually came out a year ago.
Yeah, it came out in April of 2021. We're gearing up for a new one coming up either at the end of this year or early 2023. I put that out last year, and that's kind of where everything started. I wrote a lot in 2020 because of the coronavirus. I didn't get to play near as much. Didn't get to play near as much, man. So I just wrote a lot, and at the end of that, I just started having enough songs to record a bunch of them. So I recorded 8 that I had that I thought were all diverse enough to kind of put together, and man, it's done all right. For not doing much, just huge promotion on it. It's done all right, but I'm ready for this next one. We got a lot of good production ideas behind it too, instead of just saying, "Hey, here's some music," because that's kind of what I did last year, because I was just ready to gear that up. But doing that has allowed me to do some of these more bigger shows, and I'm really proud of it. But I'm ready. We're gearing up for album 2, so.
I love that. Well, yeah, I read in your bio, and one of my first thoughts was, man, I like this guy, but it feels criminal that he only gave me 8 songs to listen to.
Yeah, and
So,
especially like I haven't put out much after. Yeah, we're finally. I'm getting financially stable enough now to finally get back in the studio and actually, like I said, actually promote it instead of just. That's kind of what I did, man. Was just throw it up because, recording costs money, but I never made any like video. I didn't make any content. I'm an old man when it comes to some of that stuff. I'm sure y'all aren't since y'all are actually doing this, but I'm really looking forward to actually having some more visual things that people can latch on to on the next music I release, and just really start making it a career, man, because it's really what I want to do. I do live in Arkansas and have a steady job, but it's gonna be fun if we can make it happen with some more things that people can latch on to instead of just the music. And I feel like everybody has to do that now with the social media game.
you have to. You really do. But
Yeah.
I was going to loop this in at the end, but your bio said something about you have another 30 to 40 something songs that you've either written or recorded that you didn't release yet.
Yeah, and
man, you're fully loaded.
Bio, yeah, well, and what's worse is I made that bio like last year when I put out the album. So
how many are you up to now?
Increased. Then oh God, man, I mean, because it's one thing to have songs ready. I probably do still only make, well, at this point probably 50 or 60. I mean, I wrote a lot. I wrote a lot, man, and there's some that make sense like together, and some that are like, man, that's out there compared to the last one. That's on my album this past time. You can go from one song that's kind of rocking, and then the next one's kind of lush and acoustic, So I love all kinds of music, and some people may see that as a fault that not everything sounds the same, but
those people are wrong.
Yeah, and I really love it when songs sound the same, man. And I will not say one bad thing about Zach Bryan, but before this last album, I was like, there's not much production on his stuff. I love his voice. I love his lyrics. I mean, he's great. But they kind of, what I mean, like, they just sound the same because it was just him and an acoustic.
Well, 100%.
Then he put out the 32 songs and started having more drums and, more layers. I was like, I knew that was all he needed to do to blow up. And
that he has, man. I was just going to ask you about him, funny enough, because you're talking about all this unreleased music you have, and I said, you got to just start firing it out for us like Zach Bryan.
I'm about to. I swear, even if it is acoustic like he does, because that's how I write anyway. If you can't.
Man, people eat that up.
Yeah.
There's no fault in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say if you can't play the song on an acoustic just by yourself, it's probably, I know a lot of people say that, but if you can't play it by yourself on an acoustic, it's probably not a great song.
Sure. Well, and your comment, which I agree, up until recently, Zach had a very defined sound. You knew what you could expect out of a song he releases. And that was a valid complaint, and one that he addressed real well with all this new music he put out. There's a lot more variety to it, and I think that's what drew in all these other fans that before would have, held back a little bit because of that valid complaint. But to that I say there's a difference between hearing music and listening to music, and all his songs really did sound a lot different if you listen to them rather than just hear them. And that probably makes sense, right?
Oh, yeah, and that's one thing about him that I love now is, like, once you actually listen and hear, like, I'm a lyrics guy. That's why I love
you and me both.
All those Kentucky guys, man. Like, as politics aside, I don't really care what you believe in. If you have good music, you have good music. I love Isbell and Sturgill and
sure,
and guys like Zach Bryan that just like they go for the gusto, man. And like I said, that Zach Bryan album's just, it's long, but it's all good. Like.
And then the best part is not 2 months later, he said, hell, here's another EP, 8 songs.
It's wild, man. He definitely has way more songs than anybody I know. That's crazy. But,
well, hey,
all good.
he gave you the blueprint. Why don't you start firing these off for me?
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it.
We would love that. I speak for many, I'm sure. But we, the other thing that I wanted to mention, I was going to save this for the end, but you mentioned you haven't done any videos or anything yet, and that's good promotion. But you might for some of these songs coming up. Well, I have for a long time now wanted to utilize my family farm for such a music video set, and
Yeah,
we have property just a little bit northeast of the camp in St. Genevieve County. Does that
yeah,
ring? So you know about where that is?
yeah.
Well,
It's
man,
north of it, right?
yes, just up Highway 55,
Yeah.
and so wouldn't be too far from you. But I would love to have you out, and we can bring some video teams, and maybe you bring in one of your own, but work together on that. And I'll tell you, it's hard to be humble about how cool this place is, but we
Yeah.
got almost 900 acres with a big lodge enough to sleep everybody and 2 lakes. I mean, you can imagine we could do some cool videos. That your sound sounds like what my farm looks like.
Heck yeah, man. Well, I sound like I could do some living out there.
Absolutely, you can. We can do some fishing. We can do some, get up to some redneck shenanigans, and also film a couple cool music videos for you.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm in. Just
We can
tell me when.
We can talk more about that on Saturday, but I'm dead serious, brother.
Okay.
I've actually been talking to quite a few people about wanting to do that.
Dude, yeah, we ought to.
I haven't
That'd be
yet.
great.
I haven't yet. So why don't we make you the first?
Dude, I'll be the first. I don't care.
We'll talk about that, but that's pretty serious. Well, hey, we're talking about the EP. I like to play a couple of my favorite songs, and have you tell me more about them. So if you're all right,
Yeah.
I'm going to make you listen to yourself real quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here's my first pick.
I was living in my own mind, trying to find something that's lost that I could find. Was it in a dream? Was it in real life? She the one I needed, just another love gone by. Yeah, I'm living in mystery.
So I could let that go on for another 4 minutes and 12 seconds if it was up to me. But, man, that's a cool song. Tell us about it.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah,
Love
man,
Gone By.
That's a straight up country song, right?
You're damn right it is.
Yeah, it's 3 chords in the truth for the most part. There's some other things in it, but
Well, yeah, man, it's gritty.
yeah, it's weird. It's I used to have it as like kind of this like slow, soulful thing, but then I was like, man, let's just countrify it up and just do it like a straight up country Dwight Yoakam tune, and it just it worked out that way. And I was like, man, that's just kind of it's a vibe. It's different
It
from
is.
everything on it.
It is a vibe.
Yeah, it is straight country, and I love it. I just picked up a telly. I was like, let's just record it here in the room, just like a straight up country. Like, seriously, before we recorded it, I had to, like, I was like slow, like a little slow, just kind of drag along song. I was like, man, that drags. And then we were like, just speed it up, and now it's a country. And we play that one at every show because it's just really fun. All the stops and dynamics.
Dude, that's a good honky tonk song. I hear that and I think, hold my beer and watch me go dance the prettiest girl in the room around this floor. Like
that's our boot scooting boogie.
You're damn right. Well, what was the inspiration behind that song? How long ago did you write that one?
Man, that was one I actually wrote when I was really like starting to get later in high school, because I'd started trying to write early, but I was really, you have to write bad songs, and I didn't do it as much as I did in 2020, but probably around, it's probably 2017, probably about an old flame I had, and just wrote those lyrics down.
We love it. That one that's a good old country rock and roll sound, and I mean,
Yeah, man.
it's got that that gritty guitar, but it still sounds so classic and traditional. I love that. But then we can move on to, we're going to play this one.
Passing cars and spam phone calls and another hour of killing time. Wooden post and it's worn out ghost and it's one last time to walk the line. Wish I could go far away. Some old town, some old place, like a cabin in the sky.
I really wanted to let that one get to the hook because, man, I just fucking love that song. It starts off at 100 with that fiddle, and dude, my ears just perk up, and I'm like, ooh, okay, we're buckled in. Let's see where this goes. And again, the versatility in your music is the first thing that I latched to. I was like, man, okay, this guy's got range, and that's obviously much different than Another Love Gone By. So Cabin in the Sky, tell me about that one.
That was the first one I wrote, weirdly enough, out like once I've realized not going to be playing for a while, so I might as well pick this songwriting thing up. And man, that I've had that title in my phone for a long time, Cabin in the Sky. I just thought it was always cool sounding, and I just kind of wrote it about wanting to, just kind of get out, and because we were all inside, and like I'll just go anywhere. And then I was like, Cabin in the Sky, maybe I can make that a metaphor, kind of song, and that's where it started, man. And that riff, it was the same the whole time through, and the whole time I was playing, I was like, man, a fiddle riding that little lick there at the beginning would just kind of make that song for me personally. And there's some steel guitar in it too, but man, that's a special one too, because Mary Beth Bird, she's all over the album, but she's very prominent in that song vocally. And if people don't know Mary Beth Bird, she was on The Voice.
I knew it sounded familiar.
Yeah, she was on John Legend's team, and I'm pretty sure she got under the top 10. I think maybe even top 8. She's just super freaking good at singing, man. It's like,
do you know what year that would have been?
Man, it was season, I believe, 17. I couldn't even tell you what year it was, but I think it was. I know I was in college. It was either 2019 or 2018. It was before.
Yep. I feel like they're on 21 right now, so that sounds about right.
Yeah. So, and man, and there's a lot of great people from Arkansas. I mean, from everywhere that go to The Voice, but I think she's one of the best that has ever gotten on there. I think she personally should have won. I mean, her range is great, and so after she did that song, I was like, well, I got a couple more on the album that could use a little something like that. So she sang on a song called Texas, and another one that I'm failing to mention. Oh, there's one called Fantasyland too. The kind of slower tunes. Mm-hmm. Mary Beth did some harmonies on, but she was so prominent on Cabin in the Sky, I just went ahead and featured her on the song. So
sure. Well, I was just browsing, and it looks like she's only got one song on Spotify. So I'm gonna have to do some deeper digging.
Yeah, well, when they're on The Voice, they release all those singles and stuff.
Yeah, so she'll have a lot of stuff credited to The Voice, huh?
Yeah, I think all that's on the Apple side of things. I don't think Spotify or anybody does that, but I think she's on iTunes for those. But yeah, she just released that single in the past year, I know, and that's all she's got. But she's still out playing around Arkansas. So
yeah, well, so besides, now that you mention it, I think I've seen her on The Voice. Mm-hmm. I hadn't heard of her until I caught her on your album. So, I really liked what I heard of her, and I added that song too. I have a couple playlists that I make and manage because I'm trying to grow my platform any way possible, and one of those is social media presence. So I had all these people asking, "Hey, like, do you have any playlists?" And I thought I should. So recently I've been working on that, and I got one called Turquoise and Tequila, just for my country queens. And I figured, that's a marketable name. Let's try that. But I don't know. I think if you read Turquoise and Tequila, you might know what you're getting yourself into, and she fits right in there, man. It's everything from like Dolly and Tanya Tucker and Reba to Mary Beth Bird and Gracie Yolk and Caitlin Butts. It's a fun little playlist.
Oh yeah.
So,
and I think women in country is almost better now than ever. Like with Lainey, especially mainstream now. With I heard that new Hardy song with Lainey Wilson the other day.
Wait in the Truck, yeah, that one's deep.
God, man, and there's a reason I think Hardy wins Songwriter of the Year. I think he just won it, but I think he's going to win that a lot more. Dude it's insane how I think he wrote it with a lot of people, but
sure, but you're right. He just puts out good stuff, man.
Yeah, every time. But yeah, all the ladies, man, like it's insane. There's almost more of those than like prominent mainstream guys that are doing it.
Well, and man, I'll tell you, there's plenty of moods of mine where like that's just exactly what I'm looking for. I throw on my chick country and I just vibe. I love it.
Yeah, man, it's a whole different thing. I love it.
Well, I want to play one more of yours here. Got a question about this one.
Sing. Move on, little son, get in line. Don't try to be too keen. Play a song that you sing along, and that's all we really need. Something about times when we couldn't find a destination or a week. When the ramblers get to ramble, and the gamblers get to gamble. Oh, won't you give me a better?
All right, I let that one run even longer because I really wanted you to finish it out for me. That's Catch It When You Can. And, dude, that one is also just so much different than the others we've listened to. That gives me Skynyrd vibes, or more recently maybe some Blackberry Smoke, even Whiskey Myers, because the brass in there is what did it for me immediately. I heard that come in and said, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, man. Dude, Whiskey Myers, Blackberry Smoke, Reed Southall.
Well, of course.
Yeah, man. I mean, those are my favorite bands right now because I grew up absolutely just eating up Skynyrd, ZZ Top, Allman Brothers Band, and I feel like they're in a way still keeping it alive, and that's as I look forward in my music, that's kind of what I'm wanting to do because I've played guitar so long now. My favorite mix on Spotify is my blues mix because it's so guitar driven music.
You hit it on the head with that one.
And that's my favorite song on the album for that because I've always loved horns. That's why I love this newest Whiskey Myers album, Tornillo. I think
because
it's
there's
so
much on, dude.
Yeah,
you're telling me
so much horns.
I love it. There are more horns in country music. That's a movement I can get behind.
Yeah, the fiddle's one thing, but then if you throw some horns in there, you're getting into just some bad, hard riff Southern rock, and that is my favorite music, no doubt. And I'm having horns with me this weekend at the show, and
hell yes.
Yeah, man, that's just I love creating a vibe. It's all about having fun. At the end of the day, you can be serious or whatever, but at the end of the day, if you just impress somebody, I feel like that's what we're hoping to do Saturday, is just have fun. And horns is my favorite thing. That's probably why I'm so driven to that being my favorite song on the album too.
That's how you ought to market yourself, Eli Adams, bringing the vibe.
Yeah, bringing the vibe, man.
I get it, man. You're telling me you have horns in the band and you're playing these kind of songs for us. Like, you're giving even guys like Palmer Anthony and Reed Southall Band, you're giving them big shoes to fill. I think you're going to kick this off so well in the middle of the woods, good old honky-tonk night on Labor Day weekend at this just what might be my favorite venue of all time. You can tell I'm genuinely excited about it.
Yeah, man. We are too. I mean, as soon as I got the call about it, I was like, oh, good Lord, I'm going to have to tell everybody, but I couldn't tell anybody yet 'cause we weren't announced. We weren't announced on the show, so I was just telling, like, really close friends and family, like, just keep September 3rd, Labor Day weekend, on hold because we're going to Missouri. Trust me.
Hell yes, dude. I'm excited. Cannot wait. The Mexican restaurant across the street is just the cool. What more could you want from a venue? You're telling me, here, honky tonk here, and then walk 40 yards that way and slam margaritas, chips and salsa? Like, that's heaven, dude. That's heaven.
That is heaven, man.
When I die, I want to go to the camp at Lake Guapapella.
Right. It's so hard to beat. I mean, they have everything you need.
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, I got a couple of questions that I like to ask my guests when I'm promoting a show. So this, of course, is all come together because you're playing the camp at Lake Guapapello this Saturday, September 3rd, with Palmer Anthony and the Reed Southall Band. So my question to you is, first, what's your favorite Palmer Anthony song?
My favorite Palmer Anthony song is Letterman.
Okay.
I think just the wordplay on that is great. I've been listening to him, like I said, probably since about April. I'm not fully in on it. Drink to That's great. There's a few, but I would say Letterman's my favorite.
Sure. Well, if you've been listening since April, you got there before the album came out. That was just in June. So honestly, you beat me to him. I was just telling him that myself. I might not be your oldest fan, but I'm a hell of a one. And Letterman's a good one, dude. The wordplay, that's exactly it.
Yeah, it's killer.
Well, you can probably guess. The next question is, what's your favorite Reed Southall Band song?
Oh, man.
You're on the spot. And I'll tell you, I've been a big Reed Southall Band fan for a long time now. So I'm going to judge you for your answer here. This is, tread carefully.
I'm not going basic because I'm not going to say why. And I'm trying to think. I think my favorite is probably straight up Damn on the Borrowed Time. I think it's on Borrowed Time. Well, I may be wrong on that. I don't know what album it's on, but Damn is my favorite song. It's hard rock. It's kind of harder rock. But man, that's tough.
You were right. That's Borrowed Time.
Gunshot is like what drew me to him too. So.
Man after my own heart. That right there is. I fight back and forth with myself, but right now I got that somewhere pretty comfortably in my top 10 favorite songs of all time.
Right.
Because
that's really hard to choose.
Six String Sorrow has recently. If you ask me what my favorite album of all time is, I'd have to really fight to not say Six String Sorrow. That's a damn hard question to answer, but that one's always what comes to mind, so I guess that's my answer.
And it's so good because you can tell it's in a room, I feel like, with just like Reed on an acoustic and whoever's doing the extra layers, man. It seems so simple, but it's so good. But yeah, I would say Damn just because it's like my favorite one to crank up, and just jam out to.
That's a good answer. I'm giving you trouble. There's hardly a wrong answer. I mean, they don't have a bad song. So that ticket is going to be cool, man. I'm so excited. And hell, this is the first Labor Day weekend in a while that I haven't spent at the Lake of the Ozarks. But for good reason. I don't think I'm going to regret 1 minute of it.
I don't think you will, man. It's going to be awesome.
Damn right. Well, I'll take that as a promise. So tell me about, other than this weekend, some of your upcoming shows in the area where once we see you here, we're going to want to see you there. So where can we catch you next?
Right. So this fall we're going to be in Fayetteville a lot, which I'm looking forward to because I'm an Arkansas guy, big Hog fan. So
Oh, sure.
we're going to be on Dixon Street in Fayetteville at their tin roof. There's tin roofs everywhere.
Oh, hell yeah.
But we'll be right there at the top of Dixon Street playing there in Fayetteville, and we play at the one in the tin roof on Beale Street in Memphis quite a bit as well. That's kind of how we're finishing off the year. But if you stay up with me, we do some things in more northeast Arkansas that some of your southern Missouri people I think would be interested in. But yeah, if you make your way to Fayetteville anytime this fall for a game, make sure you go to Dixon Street, party with us.
Well, I might have to, but instead I think we're going to get you up to St. Louis for a weekend because you got to play the tin roof up here. That's my backyard. I'll show you all around, buddy. But I think we could get you double booked that weekend at Game 6 Honky Tonk like I was talking about.
Game 6, tin roof, and the barn. I'm ready.
Man, I'll send them the podcast and say, give me a weekend. We'll figure it out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, and then we'll take you to the farm for that video, too. I'm dead serious, dude. We're going to talk more about that.
Heck yeah, man. I can't wait. I'd love to.
Well, Eli, buddy, I appreciate it. Again, this is Eli Adams on the Arch City Music Podcast from the Barn Studio, and we are going to be seeing Eli with Palmer Anthony and the Reed Southall Band this Saturday, September 3rd, at the camp at Lake Wapapella. Eli, thanks for coming, buddy. I can't wait.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Austin.
Sing. Move on, little son, get in line. Don't try to be too keen.